Hello everyone, it's Old Guardian here. Recently I started to get these questions out of the blue like, is Hearthstone dying? What do you think, OG? Is Hearthstone slowly dying? And I was like, what? I thought, okay, where does this come from? Like, okay, I know that, for example, Raran has lately been making a lot of videos about people who have left Hearthstone, and those are getting a lot more views than people who are actually still playing Hearthstone. Those are pretty fun videos, by the way. But anyway, it was not that. Apparently there had been some sensational video about Hearthstone dying and all that. And like all sensational videos, it was based on interpretation of data. So I wanted to give my own brief take on the subject. Is Hearthstone now dying? First of all, we have a lot of data about viewership on Twitch. So for example, Salinome has a lot of statistics, and average viewer rank of Hearthstone compared to other games has indeed been going down. And over the past 4 years, Hearthstone has indeed gone from being a top 5 watched game on Twitch to now sometimes even dipping out of top 20. And obviously a game that is only the 20th most watched game in the world has to be dying, right? And if we look at absolute figures instead of relative figures, we can also see that, yeah, the popularity of Hearthstone has been going down. It was quite popular in 2015, 2016, 2017, started to go down in like 2018, and it reached its bottom in popularity in 2019, recovered during the COVID pandemic in 2020, and now it's slightly below that 2020 level, but actually it's still much higher than it was in 2019. Another clear sign of a dying game. And thanks to the recent Alterac blog post from Blizzard, we also know something about the player numbers, because we know that in the Alterac there were enough games played for 1.2 million players to complete the entire Alterac, and we know that 10% of players did. So you can take this to mean that Hearthstone has around 1 million players, but given what we know about how people play games, there are some people who play a lot, and then there's a long tail of people who play very little. And actually with that number of games played that there were during the Alterac, the upper limit of constructed Hearthstone players, not including any Battlegrounds players, would be around 12 million. But the more realistic number would be in the neighborhood of 3 to 5 million. I examined this in a previous video about the number of Hearthstone players. I'm not going to repeat all of that here, but yeah. So we have a game with maybe like 3 million players. Worst case scenario. Clearly, this game is dying. There's no escaping that fact. Only 3 million people playing this game. Yeah, it's a gunner. There's nothing that we can do. RIP Hearthstone. Or we could also take a look at Hearthstone's financial performance, because Blizzard doesn't give you very good details about the performance of each of their games. But in the latest quarter report, so the last quarter of 2021, Hearthstone fourth quarter net bookings grew year over year, driven by a steady cadence of new content. Do you know when was the last time Hearthstone grew year on year? Because I actually don't. I only looked back like 3 years and I couldn't find a single mention of Hearthstone growing year on year. Hearthstone has only grown quarter to quarter, because a quarter with an expansion release or the fourth quarter, those are typically pretty good. So yeah, and now Hearthstone actually grew year on year 2021 compared to 2020, which is something that has not happened in this game for many years. But obviously this game is dying. So, sadly I have to agree with the latest sensational videos about Hearthstone dying. This is clearly a dead game, there's nothing we can do about it. We can set the funeral date, let's say February 7th maybe. I will see you all there. I'm sure it's going to be a fun party. And yeah, that happened. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the content, please click the like button, subscribe to my channel, and check out my Twitch channel.